applause from the crowd. Now she spent the on a bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on a deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome in to episode 207 of Phired Sports. Check us out at phiredsports.com. I'm Mike Giletto. Joining me as always, Mark Ramos. What's going on, Mark?
Not much, man. Just saw Schwarber's 50th home run.
Got the 50. Took him a while. It took him longer than we probably would have thought, a week or two ago. Maybe longer. How long has it been since he hit a home run?
Yeah. If he's not hitting them every other night, it feels like it's just too long for in between.
I know he had that game where he had multiple. How many home runs did he hit in that game? 3, 4?
Yeah.
He had one game where he went crazy, and then but other than that, he's been quiet like the last month or two of the season.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, 50's special no matter what. No matter what era we're talking, no matter how much the game changes, hitting 50 is a pretty big deal.
Yep. Yeah, his last home run came in that 4 home run game against the Braves, August 28th, which I guess, what's today's date? The 8th, 9th? Mm-hmm. So a couple of weeks ago, that 4 home run game. And then before that, his next home run before that was August 20th. So a little bit of a slump.
Yeah.
For Schwarber. But he got the 50, the second player in a Phillies uniform to ever hit 50 home runs.
Yeah.
So
pretty awesome. Pretty awesome stuff.
Yep. And if you are buying any of the rumors and the reports, the Phillies aren't going to get outbid. They're gonna pay up if the rumors are true. Believe it when I see it, but I guess that's nice to hear.
Yeah, yeah, they're not afraid to say those types of things. But like you said, I mean, we'll see if they'll put the money where their mouth is.
Actions speak louder than words.
They do. I think especially for, for this group and how close we kind of see them as to contenders and things like that. I mean, it's everything they do in this run to like a title. It's going to be like extra. It's going to be more amplified. You know what I mean? They're just at that point. That's what happens when you're a team that's for all intents and purposes a really good regular season team. They've been in the playoffs. They've had a little bit of success, but haven't been able to get over the hump to win the whole thing. That kind of stuff. It comes with the territory.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And one thing that I will say is about the current version of the team, and obviously pitching is kind of a weird thing to talk about right now because obviously since the Wheeler stuff happened and Nola came back and wasn't great, but you know what? We shit on him a lot. I'll give him his flowers. In a game where, the morning of you found out you lose Alec Boehm and Trey Turner, the lineup is very depleted. You need a good start out of Aaron Nola. Didn't think we'd get it. You needed a good one. He gave you 6 strong, great innings. And like that, I'm not all the way back in on Aaron Nola. I need to see a few more starts before I can maybe trust him in a playoff scenario again. But the other night was a really good start to maybe hopefully building something.
Yeah,
with Aaron Nola. Yeah,
absolutely. That was really encouraging. I mean, they needed that from him. For all the reasons you just mentioned. They really need it, specifically from Nola. They needed a game like that. And I don't know, maybe this is like the start of him kind of getting more comfortable again. And if it is, then I mean that's a really, really good sign for for this team, heading into October, because they absolutely need him to be good.
Yep.
Absolutely. So
definitely.
And then of course it was against the Mets, and that that means
even better.
It means a little bit more this time of year, and that was big. That was really big. So
yeah, and even tonight obviously the bats come alive, but against the Mets, but the Ranger pitched a good game too.
Yep.
Right now, you need these guys a big. It's not necessarily a big seed. Like, yes, it's against the Mets, who are second in your division, but there's a pretty sizable lead. They're not catching you,
Yeah.
but you have a chance to bury them. Like, they're in a legitimate wild card race. You have a chance to legitimately like get them out of the playoffs.
Yeah. And you would think that the urgency would be there because the Phillies have not always looked that great against this team.
Yes.
And you're kind of maybe it's easier to say after you bury them to be like, I didn't want to see them in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like you wouldn't say that in the middle of playing them or anything like that. But no, I mean it's an important series, and plus like everything's just kind of that way in September, and to have back to back really good starts from guys that we've raised questions about, legitimate questions. Um, that's really positive at this time of year because the playoffs are right around the corner, and if you're not going to go anywhere. Like the other night, like they win 1-0, you know, and you're going to have to win like that in
Yep.
in October and stuff. And part of the reason why I thought Duran coming in and all was such a big deal to have somebody who can kind of like who can be close to never, not that there's ever a real automatic, but it's close to it, and he gets
Yeah.
in games, and especially close games. I feel a lot better knowing he's out there waiting and giving him the ball in 1 and 2 run leads, and knowing that we can close the door in those games because you can't give those away
No.
in the playoffs. You just can't. Like if there's not enough games, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To blow one like that. So all that stuff was really encouraging for the Phillies, so.
Yep. And listen, I guess if they do have to play the Mets, just hopefully it's here and not there. 'Cause
Yes.
it is a wild difference.
Yes. A large difference,
Yes. Yeah.
And the Phillies' disparity feels so much larger. I think their home and away splits feel so much more egregious, They win a lot at home. They're probably around 500, I think, on the road.
Yeah, at home they are 46-23 tonight. After tonight, they'll be 47-23,
Mm-hmm.
and their away record 38-37.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, you gotta win at home, and you gotta win at home anyway. But it's especially in a situation like this,
Yeah, but it's a good point of like when you get to postseason baseball, like it's about winning the tight games, the 1-0, the 3-1. Like you have to be able to, and it's kind of like a contradicting a little bit because it seems like the last couple of years they've kind of got eliminated because the bats go cold and they had to score runs and they couldn't, but you will have to win those games at some point. Like
yeah.
and they're gonna at the same time they are gonna live and die by the bats. You need Harper to go. You need when Turner's healthy. If he's healthy in the playoffs, you need him to go. You need Schwarber to do his thing. Like the bats need to be there, but pitching's also really important. Obviously, I mean it all has to work well in order to win the whole thing.
Yeah, to win the whole thing, you got to get some
all
things
gotta go
breaking.
right.
Yeah, but I think too. Like, I mean, this team's had issues in the past with. I think just like I think we saw it when they played the Diamondbacks a couple seasons ago, and like Arizona was such a great like situational hitting team, and you need that all the time to win, but especially in the postseason, like making sure that you're able to manufacture runs and things like that is at a premium, but of course, on the flip side, having the pitching is a really good thing as well, and knowing that you can win close games because you feel comfortable going with, allowing your starters maybe to go deeper in the games or what have you, or having a dominant closer that that can close out those games. That's all a part of it. That's all a part of winning the whole thing. So
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, I'm real encouraged. Naturally, I mean, anything else, Phillies? There really isn't a whole lot going on. It's just they're playing well. The Turner news, I think, kind of stinks.
yeah,
Hopefully they get him back playoff time, maybe right before playoffs. Who knows? But like something like that seems like it can kind of linger.
Yeah, anything hamstring
Yeah.
related or something like that, especially because a large part of Turner's game is his speed.
Yep.
Especially, um, and he's been uh, really good for the Phillies this year.
Yeah.
And to lose him and to know, like you said, that could be something that, even if he's getting back and he's playing, it could flare up here and there. It could affect him at shortstop, certainly.
Yeah.
That position could be demanding, on your body and things like that. So yeah, I mean that news sucked. There's no
Yeah.
way to cut that. You just hope that, I think, everything that, because they have such a kind of comfortable lead on the Mets, I think everything you do needs to be geared towards October.
Hmm.
Don't worry about what's left in the regular season. Just get yourself right for, that first matchup in the playoffs. I think that's probably what they're thinking, especially if they can, widen the gap here between them and the Mets in this series. And you can kind of not let your foot off the gas, but just kind of, for guys that are nicked up or whatever, you can kind of just worry about getting them healthy.
Yeah. And it's also kind of important at this point to get one of those top two spots. Like to
Yeah.
try to get a bye and, maybe get a little time off and get Turner maybe an extra, I don't know, 5 days rest or whatever. But
Yeah, for
and
sure.
right now they are the second seed.
Yeah.
If it ended today, the Dodgers are they're like, I don't know, they're kind of hit or miss. They had two. I don't know if you saw this. They had this weekend. They had two no hitters going into the ninth inning and blew them both. Well, the one game they actually blew, but
Yeah.
they gave up. Yeah, no hitters both went into the ninth.
I did
And they
not see
couldn't get
that.
it done.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Okay. So the Saturday night one, I know because I have Yamamoto in my fantasy baseball team, and it was
Oh,
playoffs, and he took a no hitter into the eighth. Did you see? Or I'm sorry, the ninth. Did you see this game at all by any chance?
no, I didn't.
Okay. So no hitter. I'm trying to think what the score was. I think they were up 3-0 going into the ninth inning. He gets the first two guys out, so he has one out to go. He throws kind of a meatball a little inside to Jackson Holliday, who hits a home run to make it 3-1. Ends a no hitter. They pull him. They get I think the next guy gets a single, and then something along the lines of like either a single walk or and it ended up with the bases loaded, and then they ended up hitting like a walk off hit to end the game. When they they were no hit in the ninth inning. They ended up winning the game. It was the Orioles. The Orioles, yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay. Yeah.
and then the other night, who was it? I think it was Glass. Now somehow allowed a run in the second inning and still didn't give up a single hit until the ninth inning. It was like I think it was walk in the second inning. He gave up a walk, stolen base, sacrifice fly to get him to third, sacrifice fly to get him home, and then didn't give up a hit until the ninth inning when he let up a double.
Was that against Baltimore too?
That was, you know what? It might have been. I'm looking. No, it was against Colorado. That was last night. Okay, so it was Saturday night and then it was Monday night.
Okay. Okay.
But still kind of wild.
I mean, it's wild. Yeah, it's wild either way. But
Yeah.
it would have especially been wild if the Orioles broke two up.
Yeah.
Back to back nights or whatever. But yeah, no, that's crazy either way. Yeah.
And then the night of the Orioles won, when the Orioles came back to win in the ninth inning, that was like they were doing some sort of special like anniversary celebration of it was the 30 years of Cal Ripken breaking the Ironman streak. So they were kind of doing the like some sort of ceremony for that. All the former players were in town. It was really interesting, but
yeah,
it was a fun game.
that's crazy.
Not for me because I have Yamamoto on my fantasy team, so I didn't like it at all. But
that hurts. That hurts. That definitely hurts. But
yes,
it's
but
been
all
30 years since
Yeah.
Ripken broke the.
Mhm.
Wow.
I think it was 30. I could have that wrong. 30 year. Yeah, I mean that sounds about right?
Yeah, I guess. I'm just trying. I'm a lot older than I think now.
Yes, exactly.
Because I really remember that. Like, you know,
Yeah, September 6th, 1995. There you go.
wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yep. Yes, it is. Yeah. We're getting up there, man. We're getting up
Yeah,
there.
that's for real.
But yeah, all that to say, the Dodgers are kind of, they're right behind. I think they're 2 or 3 games behind the Phillies for that second seed. And yeah, I think it's just important to kind of get that at this point, get your guys healthy. Boom, I don't think they're too worried about. It seems like once he serves his time, he should come back. And I don't think that's really much of a concern. But it's a Turner one. I think that's a ball breaker.
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. That's and he's just, like I don't know. Maybe there's discourse about it. I don't really listen to much else discourse other than the ones we do, all the discourse we do here. I don't really like spend a lot of time listening to other shows or
Yeah,
radio or whatever. But I mean, like I don't know if we like have given him enough credit for how good he's been, like
definitely
this year,
not. Definitely not.
and at least I
But
don't feel like it, you know.
well, Turner's a weird one because obviously he gets that massive contract.
Right.
And I think the first like year or two, like we could call it what it is. He didn't necessarily live up to that contract. People kind of thought that they overpaid him, and he's not living up to the hype, not living up to the contract, whatever. And once you get that put on you, it's kind of hard for people to go the other way with it. Like
It
people are
is.
always going to paint that picture of you're an overpaid guy that never lived up to it.
Yeah. That's probably definitely like, yeah, like your first impression kind of thing
Yeah.
is your I that's probably, there's definitely merit to that, I would imagine. Because I think this year, right? Like I was looking at his, like I've been, when I watched the team and all, and like I've been following his game along this year, uh, and I'm like looking at his numbers and stuff, just his raw, straight, like, you know,
Mhm.
offensive numbers and stuff, and I'm like, man, he's been really good.
The power hasn't been there. Like
No,
this year, the powers kind of hasn't been there, but everything else, he's been really good.
and I guess like I'm not as concerned with that,
Hmm.
like with not with Trey. I think it's like, give me the 300 average.
Sure. Yeah.
You're leading the NL in hits. Like I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Like, and it
And
was
what?
just
Sorry to cut you off, but like one thing that I think people don't really talk about is the first couple years of him here, the defense was a mess.
it
This year,
was.
you could argue it's like borderline Gold Glove level. Like he's been
Yeah.
tremendous in the field so far this season.
Yeah, I was actually, when he got here, I was kind of like taken back by that. I don't know
Yeah,
what was going on there because I thought
it's a
like,
mess.
yeah, I was like, he's way better than this.
Yeah,
Like I've seen him play way better than this.
yeah,
Play a better shortstop than this. And um, but yeah, like when I was looking at the offensive totals, and all I kept hearing from people would be like, was the whole like he doesn't hit home runs at home, like he was hitting all his home runs on the road.
yeah.
And I think the broadcast was even like, making light of that and all. But I felt like for some people that was like, excuse me, like a legitimate criticism. And I'm like, that seems like such a weird thing to harp on. Like, oh, he doesn't hit any home runs at home. Well, I mean, he's also leading the league in hits and hitting
Yeah.
300. I really don't have a problem with that. But, you're right, though. I think it's hard to kind of get that label off when, in your first couple years, it looks like you're not going to be living up to that, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I mean he's been good, and it's a big loss. I mean they've hit a real like snag in terms of injuries that way this year, with of course the Wheeler thing, which nobody could have anticipated seeing coming, and now this stuff happening with Turner, and you're already trying to preserve the miles you have on Bryce,
Mhm.
and it's just it's a tough spot to be in. They got the whole Schwarber contract thing going on, and that's it.
Nola got hurt for a while.
Nola was hurt, so it's
Um, yeah, the Alvarado suspension. I mean, you're gonna lose him
yeah,
soon. Like,
yeah. I will give them. I can be hard on the Phillies sometimes,
mhm.
but they do deserve some flack in that regard. I think, like with that, they've
Yeah,
they've gone through more than most teams, with that kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you what, the Robertson signing so far has worked out. I think he's been really good.
dude, it hasn't been
Really
bad.
good.
I was
Yeah,
legit worried about that because he's like
yeah,
100 years old. But
yeah.
no, I mean he's been good too. He's been good too. So,
Well, we'll see what happens when the next reclamation project comes in Walker Bueller, which I think maybe he's
oh,
supposed to start next week. I think at some point or
oh,
this
he's coming
upcoming week.
up.
Yeah, I think he's starting. Like, I'm pretty sure he's starting fairly soon in the next week or two.
I did send you guys that solo shot he gave up his
Yes,
first in AAA.
it's a tough start.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see if I can
That's
find.
that's got to be just deflating as all hell. I would imagine.
Yeah, Walker
After-
Bueller still on track to make his Phillies debut Friday against the Royals. That was 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't think I
Friday,
realized that.
he
Yeah.
will make his debut.
Mm. I'll be keeping my eye out on that.
Not particularly optimistic. I'll say that.
Yeah, yeah. You have said that. You've said that. I think you said that the last couple of shows too.
Yes, yes. I hope it works out. I was a big fan of him, 2, 3, 4 years ago in LA. Yeah, I just don't know what he has anymore.
Yeah,
I'm skeptical.
yeah.
If it works, it works. But I'm skeptical.
Right. I remember Dom saying too. I mean, like that's such a Dombrowski type of thing. Like
Sure, yeah.
he goes out and gets those guys that, sometimes it feels like when their value's like the all-time low, like he's like
Mhm.
right there to swoop them up for, for a cheap contract and see if you can kind of, which like I don't really necessarily mind when you're, and that was kind of my point through the whole last couple months when we would talk about the Phillies was like they kind of just had, I would have liked to have seen them make more of a splash, like adding a bat or something like that. But there's a lot of money he tied up here, like, and their
Yeah.
guys are their guys.
He definitely loves going bargain shopping, right? He spends time at the dollar store, the dollar aisle. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But in the same sense, like it can work out because like Harrison Bader was kind of that guy, and he's been great.
he has
He's
been
been
great.
awesome.
Yeah, and I was excited. I was a little bit more optimistic, I think, when Bader
You were, yep.
they picked Bader up, and you have to go.
It just
back.
wasn't. It just wasn't a
Well, I'm
sexy
listening to
move to me. Like it was
It
just
wasn't.
like it was like I don't know how to
It-
feel about it. But he's been really good, really good.
It wasn't, and I just thought at the time too. I was like, if this is just even if we get like a modicum of improvement there,
Mhm.
like in center field, I was like, that should be worth it. But he's been
Yep.
even better than that. He's been even better than I anticipated getting
Yeah.
from him.
And he's been good in the field. He's a good interview. Like he seems like a funny dude. Like
Yeah, yeah. And a little bit lately, a little bit more power. He's kind of like
Yeah.
showed a little bit of power. So that's great, man. If he can carry that into the postseason, like guys parlay those kinds of things in the big deals other places and stuff like that.
sure.
But like you said, like with Dombrowski kind of doing the the bargain bin shopping and all, you have to know, like, I mean, how, like, look at Howie Roseman, like he's a master at that, like
hmm
finding value and things like that, and adding players and knowing
He does it. Yeah, he
knowing
does
a
it
good
every
deal.
Every year he does it.
Yeah, knowing a good deal when he sees one,
Yep.
and and look at how well they've done. Look how
Sure,
well that franchise is. Things have gone for the Eagles. So there's definitely some. You have to do it. I think it's like part of your due diligence as an
Sure.
executive.
It definitely is, but at the same time, and Howie Roseman hasn't done this because he's gone out, big game hunting and he's, swung his sword or whatever, so to speak. But like, you can't live and die by the bargain shopping, which I think Dombrowski, to a fault, does that. Like, to
Right.
me, that's mostly his game. Is
Right.
let's try to get the cheap guy, the
Yeah.
guy with low value. Let's not go make too many big swings. Whereas like, how Roseman made the AJ Brown trade. He signed Saquon Barkley. Like he's made the big swings which we just haven't seen out of Dombrowski really.
Right. No, that's true. It's definitely a fair criticism, I think.
Yeah. One thing I'll say is Harrison Bader. Like I would bring him back next year in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what his contract's like. I think he was a pending free agent, I believe, but I would bring him back in a heartbeat next year.
Yeah. I gotta look it up now because I'm not sure. I thought maybe they had some control, but maybe they don't.
He is. So there is an option, a mutual option. So I guess it's their decision, and his decision, I guess, on if he wants to return.
I didn't even know they do mutual options in baseball.
That's what is on my computer screen.
No,
right
no,
now.
I'm looking at it too. I just didn't know that was a thing.
Yep. So if they both want it to happen again, then it'll happen, I guess.
I mean, I could see it. Like they both. I mean, the Phillies obviously seem pretty happy with his production, and he seems like he's enjoying being on a team that's winning.
Yep.
So,
And
yeah,
then
that'd be good.
he got to meet the family that got accosted by Philly Karen.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness, Philly Karen. Did you see the some of the stuff? Oh, like some of the memes and things like that. The
Yep.
video where she turns into like what is it? The Lord of the Rings. Like, it's just like this is if we used our minds and our power like in
Yes.
the things we do on the internet for good. Oh man,
Yes.
we'd be
Watch out.
yeah. Instead, that's what we're doing. But
Because
no, it was fun. It was
yeah.
funny.
Anytime there's like a viral moment like that, you got to go to the internet. The internet's going to have memes for days.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Absolutely. But
I still don't know what she was thinking. She's 100% in the wrong.
yeah.
Just acting like an absolute lunatic.
To run up the net, like, and then just like she wasn't there with like anybody. I think she was there with her husband, is what they were saying, and I've never seen anybody get that upset over a baseball.
No.
You know,
and was fine with like taking the ball right out of the kid's hand, like glove.
out
Like,
of the glove.
the kid's
Yeah.
got it. The kid's got it. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And then when she got it, she didn't even seem happy. She still seemed miserable.
Yeah, she just pouted off walking with the baseball. That was insane. Props to the Marlins though. The Marlins did something for the family and all too. Like, so that was pretty cool of them. You know, like get them kind of like a swag bag of stuff.
Anytime they can have a good PR move, they're gonna take it, right?
Yeah. There's not much else going on down there in Miami.
No, there aren't. In Philly, the guy's not going to be able to get that far to get that ball because he'll have to climb over 50 people.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, his seats weren't exactly close to there. You know what I mean?
Right.
He had to go a little bit away.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was insane. And then like just the storm that came after that. Like,
yeah.
You know,
she got attacked. Like she probably went into hiding.
Yeah,
she had to go into witness protection.
Yeah, I mean,
under a fake name and everything.
Yeah, new alias.
Yes. All right, we can move on. That's the fun for the Phillies for the week. Moving on to an actual winner, the Philadelphia Eagles. Win against the Cowboys. Listen, full disclosure, I became a victim of the weather delay and fell asleep. I couldn't watch the whole game. Yeah. But yeah, listen, a win is a win. I watched a little highlights of the second half. After that delay, there was a whole lot of nothing happening in that second half. On both sides of the ball. Obviously, the big story out of that game was Jalen Carter and his dumbass antics, spitting on Dak Prescott. I don't care what Prescott did, what he said, the spit toward the ground. It's an idiotic move from Jalen Carter.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. That was, I put this on Twitter too. I was like, what possesses you to get that worked up or whatever on the first play of the first game of the season?
So it's not even it was before the first play.
Yeah, it's like the opening kickoff.
Yeah.
And if they lose that game, I mean, like the pitchforks are out for them, you know?
Right, sure. And it's like, a week prior, the Dallas Cowboys trade their best defender, in Micah Parsons. You just made an even swap. Like you
Right.
took yours out of the game before it even started. Like,
Yeah.
all right, now we're even going into this game.
And you know, too, like the pressure really wasn't there. Like,
No, it
you
really
know, like,
wasn't. No.
so, like, you just have to be smarter than that. Like,
Mhm.
and he did, like you said, it doesn't matter what Dak did. Dak got exactly what he wanted out of
Sure.
that. He was laughing and smiling and all that other stuff. And I just like that was incredibly dumb and juvenile. And I just,
I don't know why we didn't see much of it last year, but like I think teams are going to start to realize that Jalen Carter is a hothead and he's pretty easy to get under his skin. Like
mhm,
just stick with him the entire. It didn't even have to be the entire game. It was 3 minutes. Just stick with him, get under his skin, and he's going to do something incredibly stupid.
yeah.
Whether that's take some penalty because he's going to chuck you to the ground, he's going to throw a punch, he's going to spit on you, he's going to do something stupid.
Yeah. It was like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of, was it, I think Derek, when Barnett was here, Derek Barnett used to
Mhm.
do dumb stuff all the time.
Yeah,
Like whether it was like, roughing the passer, play, like you just can't, uh, the game is like these guys are like well adjusted to those types of things now. Like whether or not we agree with the calls or how the games are called today is an entirely different discussion. But it's like with stuff like that, it's like you can't hit these guys like that now. You
yeah.
just have to be like, you got to ease up in some of these cases. And um, he used to do dumb stuff like that all the time when he was here.
He would also jump off sides like every other play. It's
Yeah, he
insane.
would do stuff like that, like just, and they're lucky they won. And I mean, like
Sure, yeah.
Jalen played not lucky in the sense that like lucky in this, he's lucky that they won.
Yes, yes.
And Jalen was really good in that game. Um,
Yeah,
and
like his stats don't jump out to you as sexy, but like they hardly ever do.
mhm,
I thought I thought he commanded the game really well. Didn't make any bad turnovers or anything like that. Um, I thought he did what he needed to do to win, and I have zero complaints about Jalen Hurts in his game.
yeah,
And I'm almost starting to get to the point where I'm kind of done criticizing because like he's proven all he needs to prove at this point.
yeah, I feel like I've long been on that kind of thing. It's like even coming out of the Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs, he played excellent in that game, and I'm like, you really can't ask for more from a guy
Yeah,
in a game like
he
that.
made one mistake in that Super Bowl, and it was the most flukiest play you can imagine, like the
Right,
fumble. Like it's without that fluky play, they might win that game.
right, exactly. And and then like of course the dominant team effort that was last season.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean his decision making, like in a game like this when he's like really really locked in, um, they're like it's very seldom that there are any mistakes. He's pulling the ball down and running with it when it's appropriate to do so. You know what I mean? Like he's not forcing.
He almost seemed a little quicker. If that's
Yeah,
possible, like because I obviously the big thing is the last few years we've seen him play. Obviously, is he's a runner, he can move, but like and they would always run him, and I always said like he's not as fast as the team thinks he is, but like he legitimately looked quicker on
yeah,
Thursday. It was weird.
yeah, yeah. I kind of I I think that as well. Like he did seem a little more pep in his step kind
Yeah,
of thing. And also he's also strong as hell. Like so,
yeah,
like it's even hard like when that first initial contact, it's hard to bring him down anyway. And but I mean like that ball he threw to Jahan Dotson, that big play that
yeah.
they connected on. I mean it was a beautiful pass.
Mhm.
Like there's a lot of like Dotson did a great job getting open on that play. And it was a really strong game from him. And yeah, like I really don't know what else there is to pick apart, for his game at this point. He's more than earned his stripes here. This is it's about winning at the end of the day. And I mean like this guy only caring about that and absolutely nothing else. is everybody wants a guy like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
you got
Um,
to have him. You got to
yeah.
have him there.
On the defensive side of the ball, they got to figure out the cornerback situation. Like
Oh boy,
Dory Jackson is an absolute mess.
yeah. And
I
well,
don't, I don't know what the options are, but like he's a mess.
yeah. Well, like on the flip side too, like on the other side of the ball, like in terms of like things that could have, would have, should have happened or whatever. I mean, CD, what he dropped 3 balls in
Sure.
that game,
4, I think. I think it was
4.
4. Yep.
Like he doesn't normally do that.
Nope.
And if they connect on that late pass late in the game, it might have been a different outcome. Um, it just, yeah, that's something that needs to be figured out. I mean, yeah, because like you said, I mean, like with with Adore Jackson and stuff, I mean, lining him up against guys like this is just
Yeah.
you're gambling every drive. Thankfully, coming up this week against the Chiefs don't have any receivers, so
No, they
you
really
know
don't. Like their offense stinks.
they
Let's
were
just call it what it is.
absolutely atrocious in Brazil. That looked awful.
Yeah.
So
And obviously you're dangerous anytime you have Pat Mahomes, but like who's he throwing to?
yeah,
Like Kelsey's obviously a shell of himself. He even took out his own wide receiver. Like where are the what's his is he done like what's his injury status?
I don't know. I don't think it doesn't look good. I don't think for this Sunday. I don't think he's going to be suiting up. But Pat does have Juju Smith-Schuster though, so
Sure. There's
in
no
Hollywood Brown.
sort of update. Well, it says Andy Reid shares good news on Chiefs wide receiver, but he suffered a dislocated shoulder. That doesn't sound all that good news. What's going on here?
Mm,
Okay, it does not appear to be season ending. It's to be season ending, but I imagine it's going to be a while. I would
yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, they're thin at receiver, but I mean after that, I mean, you get into some of these some of these games after next week, and like the Rams come to town, and you're going to deal with Puka,
Yeah.
and after that, I mean, Tampa's got a good set of receivers, like so it's going to be tough unless something gets figured
Yeah.
out here
No.
in that secondary.
Yeah, for sure. And then they, instead of worrying about the secondary, they're still worried about the running back position because they go out today and trade for Tank Bigsby, a 5th and a 6th round pick. And then shortly after that, the news comes out that Will Shipley fractured rib out probably a couple months. So at first, when I heard the trade, I was like, what, why? Like, this doesn't make sense. Why? Like,
Yeah,
but then the news came out, and obviously it makes a little more sense after hearing the Will Shipley thing. Tank Bigsby seems talented. Hasn't really gotten a full opportunity to be a number one. Not that he's going to be here, obviously, but yeah. I mean, I guess just a decent enough number 2 behind behind what's his name, Barkley.
yeah. Yeah, I read too that like the Eagles have kind of been looking for like kick return, like special team, like kick return, punt return help, and Bigsby has done that. So maybe they like him for that, um, for those purposes. But it did seem odd until we got the Shipley news came down. You know, which sucks because I mean, like Shipley's been effective in the short, the few opportunities he has had. He's been effective. So it sucks to see that, but yeah, I think I'd read somewhere that Bigsby kind of he can return punts and kicks. So maybe they're going to use him in that way too for special teams.
Yeah. I know we have a lot more to get into tonight, and I hate to do this, but I think I'm gonna have to step off for the night. My kid's going nuts upstairs.
Oh,
Yeah. So if you're cool with it, we'll do our against the spread picks on. I'll tweet them out or do something.
sure.
I gotta get going. I gotta call it a night.
All right.
If only Dom was here, he could have taken the reins for me.
Yeah.
But
God
I hate
damn.
to do this because we got so much more to talk about.
Yeah.
So we will talk about it all next week. So
Yeah,
my
next
wife's
time.
working, so I got to get to the kids. So,
Yeah.
all right, we'll see
All right, man.
everybody. I hate to do that, but we'll see everybody
No, it's cool.
next Tuesday. See you then.